This is the story of Germanwings Flight 9525. Germanwings Flight 925 took off the runway at Barcelona El Prat Airport on the 24th of March 2015 at approximately 10:01 a.m. It was set to be a normal flight, even though it was 26 minutes behind schedule. It was supposed to arrive in Germany at the Dusseldorf Airport by 11:39. The flight was only supposed to be 1 hour and 38 minutes, and it would go across the Mediterranean Sea into the territory of France. The flight now left Spain and was now headed for France. At 10:31, after crossing the French border near Toulon, the aircraft started to descend without any proper approval, and this was seen by air traffic control, which declared the aircraft under distress, but they lost contact with the radio on the aircraft. The aircraft started to descend from 38,000 feet, which approximately took 10 minutes. As the flight started to descend, the French air traffic control tried to get access to the flight radio, but it was not answered. Their attempts were in vain. The French military then sent jets to try to intercept the aircraft, but radar was lost with the aircraft around 10:40, and then the plane kept descending and descending and descending. Finally, it crashed in this area of France, a very remote region. The crash happened in this region in France. It ended up striking a mountain, and it ran into the mountain at 435 miles per hour. The site where the plane crashed was only 6 miles away from where another tragedy happened, when Air France Flight 178 crashed in 1953. Andreas Lubitz was a co-pilot on Germanwings Flight 9525. He was born on December 18, 1987, and he was raised in Bavaria. After finishing high school in 2008, he began training at the Lufthansa flight training, but in November 2008, he was hospitalized after a severe episode of depression. But after a psychiatrist determined that the depressive episode was recovered, he continued back on August of 2009. In November 2010, he moved to the United States to continue training at Lufthansa Airline Training Center. He moved to Goodyear, Arizona from June 2011 to December 2013. He worked as a flight attendant for Lufthansa. He joined Germanwings as a first officer in June 2014. French and German prosecutors say that Lubitz was the cause of the crash. According to Robin, when the captain left the cockpit, Lubitz locked the doors and overrode the door code, not allowing anyone in. When the captain requested entry using the intercom, he was ignored. Then he knocked and then banged on the door, but still received no response. And then in a last-ditch attempt, he tried to break down the cockpit door. But after the 9/11 attacks, which I made a video about on my channel, go check it out if you can, the doors were reinforced and very strong. They were made this way to prevent any entry forcibly into the cockpit. During the descent down, Marseille's air traffic control received no response from the co-pilot. They were able to hear the captain's attempts to break in, Lubitz's steady breathing, and the passengers screaming moments before their deaths. After the investigation, it was determined that Lubitz wanted to commit suicide. 3 days after the crash, they searched his computers and his apartment. They did not find any suicide note or any political or religious backgrounds that were motivated for the attacks. They did find a note, however, that was written by his doctor that stated he was unfit for work. Germanwings said it did not receive a sick note from Lubitz for the day of the flight, and news accounts say that he was hiding an illness from his employers. Under German law, employers do not have access to employees' medical records and sick notes, excusing people from going to work. So employers must rely on employees to declare if they're fit or not for work. Authorities searched his home again. On his tablet computer web searches, on the days leading up to the crash, they found things like ways to commit suicide and cockpit doors and their safety provisions. Robin said doctors told him that Lubitz should not have been flying, but medical security requirements prevented his physicians from making this information available to Germanwings. If this had been considered public safety, then the crash would have been avoided altogether. For years, Lubitz had been unable to sleep because he feared he was going blind. He consulted over 40 doctors about this problem that he was fearing that he would lose his pilot's license due to his blindness. He began researching ways online to commit suicide before deciding to crash Flight 9525 into a mountain in France. This decision would end up killing 150 people, including himself, and go down as one of the biggest murder-suicides in history. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe, as I post more content just like this one. And also hit notifications so you'll be notified when a new video comes out. Have a great day. God bless.